Bleach's thousand-year blood war ushered us into the Everything But the Rain sub-arc, and with it came an introduction to Ichigo's mother, Masaki Kurosaki, an incredibly important character to the message and story of Bleach. She's barely in the story, but her impact on the narrative and characters of Bleach are profound and outstanding, and in this video I want to share with you something special I found watching these episodes. We pick up her story with her being the last of the Kurosaki lineage and being taken in by the Ishida family. Now, the Quincy's lost a war 1,000 years ago, and 200 years after that, the Shinigami attempted to extinguish what was left of them. So right now, they're scattered around the world, hiding in plain sight, awaiting the return of their long-gone king. In order to preserve their culture and history, they took to matchmaking marriages between pure Quincy's, and Masaki is one such casualty. Even though she had no romantic love for Ryukin, his family intended to have her and he marry so as to keep the bloodlines pure. She had seemingly accepted this fate and did not intend to fight it. Without any family to care for her, she probably felt that this was her only means of surviving. She was incredibly cordial in her interactions with Ryukin, who may have had feelings for her. Kubo is not clear on that, but I think Kubo keeps it ambiguous on purpose. One fateful night, she leaves the Ishida estate to help a Shinigami fight in a powerful hollow, and when Ryukin tries to prevent Masaki from interfering in a Soul Reaper's battle, she insists that based on her sense of morality, she cannot stand by and do nothing. She comes to the Soul Reaper's rescue and allows herself to be bitten by the hollow before blowing its head off. She helps the Shinigami and bravely reveals her heritage to him. This Soul Reaper, as we all know, is Ichigo's dad, Isshin Shiba. She heals him, and they consequently go their separate ways. Time passes, and she cannot seem to forget this encounter with Isshin. Things are relatively back to normal when she begins to feel this sense of dread periodically overcome her, like a dark shadow creeping over her body. She succumbs to these feelings and collapses, suffering from something Keisuke Urahara calls soul suicide. We see her in pain, struggling to survive, and Kubo's depiction of her spiritual state sees her falling down a deep, dark abyss, haunted by the image of a hollow mask. Isshin decides to give up life as he knows it in order to repay the debt he feels he owes her, becoming her polar opposite and committing to staying by her side until the day she dies, keeping her from soul suicide. She then survives the hollow bite but is kicked out of the Ishida estate, left to fend for herself. Kubo doesn't specify how she made ends meet, but I'm sure Keisuke was there to help out wherever he could. She finished high school and got into college. During that time, Isshin opened up a hospital clinic where he practiced medicine. She would come to see him from time to time, bringing him food and making fun of his lab coat and weird floral button-up shirt, something he undoubtedly got from Urahara, I'm sure of it. In any case, we get a very interesting montage of their budding relationship, and the beauty of their interaction is hidden in the details. Allow me to explain. Isshin has to stay relatively close to Masaki for him to prevent her from succumbing to soul suicide. It's not a situation where he literally has to follow her around. He probably just needs to be in the general vicinity. In other words, him living in Karakura Town is enough for Masaki to have a normal life. They don't need to be physically together 100% of the time. What this means is that Isshin doesn't have to be in love with her, and quite frankly, when you listen to Isshin's words and the visuals on screen, he doesn't look like he's in love with her, not for a while. She comes to visit him and he looks almost weirded out and embarrassed, I suppose. He's just standing there allowing her to do her thing. They eat together and Isshin eats normally. He doesn't necessarily appear to be overwhelmingly appreciative of her cooking food for him. He just eats it, and as she laughs, he maintains this expression of one who is perplexed. They go to the movies together and he watches a movie he says he didn't really like, and has an unconcerned look on his face. As she's sobbing next to him, he doesn't really have a reaction, and doesn't necessarily understand why she's crying so much. He just nonchalantly offers her a handkerchief, and based on their physical interaction, you wouldn't believe that he was in love with her. But you take all those expressions from before and compare it to the scenes that follow, with Masaki standing atop a small hill at sunset, turning to him with a beautiful smile on her face, and beckoning him to come to her. You can now see the love in his eyes. Theirs was not love at first sight. Maybe she was in love with him back then, but Isshin grew to love Masaki as he came to know her more. He became so in love with her that he describes her as a son in his life, one he was comfortable being spun around by. And within Masaki's relationship with Ishin and subsequent relationship with Ichigo, you find her importance to Bleach and Kubo's overall message regarding femininity, at least one aspect of it. Because Kubo has gotten a lot of slack over the years in regard to how he writes his female characters. Some points are valid and some are not. But Kubo's idea of writing a strong female character has a profound effect on me because of how unique it is within the fictional space. Masaki Kurosaki is an extremely powerful Quincy. As a young girl, she fought and killed White, a Menos-level hollow created by Aizen Sosuke, and one who was giving Ishin a lot of trouble at the time. So she's not physically weak, she's actually pretty freaking strong. However, Kubo isn't interested in writing that type of strong female character. He has enough variety within his female cast that others can satisfy that objective. Yoruichi, Hikifune, and Senjumaru are strong female characters, the type that many people seem to only care about. But Kubo here wants to craft a different kind of strength. The strength of her character, her will, her sense of morality, her intuition, her conviction, the courage needed to fight against a ravaging hollow, and the bravery required to reveal your Quincy heritage to a Soul Reaper who could easily kill you for that very reason. The belief in togetherness that saw her believe in a world where Quincy's and Soul Reapers can coexist and help one another. The kindness that would push someone to visit Ishin every day at his work and cook lunch for him because she knew that he probably would get so absorbed in his work that he would forget to eat. The love and tender care she had to raise her children in a home filled with love, affection, and warmth. She embodied the powerful force of nature only a mother could have, and it is beautiful. Early in the episode, there's a scene where Katagiri tells Ryukin that her entire life is dedicated to him. She tells him that she's living her life for him. You are everything to me and my life exists for your sake. And I made a joke about it on stream, about how people seem to have a weird problem hearing a woman say her very life exists for the sake of a man. They hear that and they see it as a weak female character. How dare a woman want to live for a man? And you know what? I scoff at that. I really do. Not because this is one woman out of the many Kubo has created, and not only because Katagiri as a human deserves to live her life however she wishes, even if she wishes to live it for Ryukin. But in that very episode, we see Kubo craft Ishin and Masaki's relationship into one resembling Katagiri and Ryukin, only that this time, it is Ishin who has her at the center of his life. Ishin is now the one who sees her as his sun, spinning around her orbit, being everything to him. It's almost like it's not a matter of sex or gender, but rather the love these characters have for one another. It's amazing, isn't it? Masaki is standing on an elevated position to Ishin, and she holds out her hand to Ishin, who walks up to take it. Is Ishin less of a man because he absolutely and completely loves and adores his wife? Is Katagiri less of a woman because her husband-to-be is absolutely everything to her? Is Masaki less of a character because her strength doesn't lie in physicality? Therein lies the beauty of Kubo's storytelling, and the message embedded within Everything But the Rain is about how love can be found in the unlikeliest of places. It's about how love can transcend cultures and millennia-long squabbles. It's about how powerful of a force a good woman can be to those around her, making a better man out of Ishin and impacting Ichigo in such an immersive way that his entire life is dedicated to making his mother proud. It's about the undying faithfulness Katagiri can have for Ryukin, always being there for him through thick and thin, and I'll actually let you in on a little secret here. No one was affected more by the effect of the Archvalen than Ryukin. I know that sounds crazy, but Ryukin grew to love Katagiri, and when you look at how different he was before and after she died, it's incredibly clear to me that he grew to love her so much that her death had a huge effect on him. This is just a theory, but I have a feeling that the reason he became so cold towards Uryu at the beginning is because Uryu is the spitting image of his mother and he couldn't bear to look at him. Uryu would just always remind him of his dead wife, one he grew to love so much. The power of womanhood in the Bleach universe is strong. That's why over here on this side of YouTube, we respect characters like Orihime, because there's more to strength than how hard you can punch a wall. Masaki Kurosaki and Everything But the Rain is a beautiful rendition of the powerful impact of femininity in a dark world like Bleach. And I hope this video did a lot to prove that to you. This is your boy Rebirth. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Until next time, signing out. Peace.